This prefrontal cortex is associated with the expression of emotions and the prediction of the person towards his various actions, After this comes your frontal eye field. As you can see in the picture, this is your frontal eye field. This is the superior frontal gyrus. This is the this is the superior frontal sulcus, and this is the inferior frontal sulcus, dividing the frontal part into superior frontal gyrus, middle frontal gyrus, and inferior frontal gyrus. So your frontal eye field occupies the posterior part of the middle frontal gyrus. Your frontal eye field occupies the posterior part of the middle frontal gyrus. It is concerned with the conjugate eye movements. That is the movement of the eye in opposite direction. It is concerned with the conjugate movements of the eyes. So this was all about motor areas of the cerebrum. I will summarize once more. You have the primary motor area. This is your central sulcus. In front of this is the Brodmann's area 4. Present between the precentral sulcus and the central sulcus. This is the primary motor area, concerned with the voluntary movement, concerned with the movements of the various body parts. In front of it comes the area 6 and 8. Which is the premotor area, concerned with the intricacy of the movements. That is, skill which is associated with the movement is because of this area 6 and 8. After that comes your what I can say, this your primary motor area is also present in the paracentral lobule. Present in the paracentral lobule anterior part. After this comes your supplementary motor area, which is present on the prefrontal gyrus. And it is associated with the primary motor area. Then your prefrontal area, which comprises the anterior part of the medial frontal gyrus, orbital gyrus, and superolaterally the anterior part of the three frontal gyri. This is associated with the expression of emotions. Then comes your frontal eye field in the posterior part of the middle frontal gyrus. It is associated with the conjugate movement of eyes in the opposite direction. If there is damage to this area, the eyes move towards the the movement of the eyes will be towards the side of the damage. After this comes your inverted homunculus. What is this inverted homunculus? All the body parts have the representation in the cerebrum, but that representation in the cerebrum is upside down. See, your head here is placed downwards and the limb is placed upwards, and the area occupied in the cerebrum by these body parts is associated with the motor activities. Like hand has a good motor activity, so area of representation is more on the cerebrum. Similarly, tongue has a good motor activity, so area of representation on the cerebrum is more. Then the sensory motor cortex, that is the sensory motor cortex of the this is the sensory area. So we will be talking about now the sensory areas of the cortex. This is the primary sensory area. This is the 3-1-2 Brodmann. This is the primary somatosensory area, 3-1-2 Brodmann, and this is the primary motor area, as you know. This is present in the postcentral gyrus, present between the central sulcus and the postcentral sulcus. This is present in the postcentral gyrus. It receives sensations from the various body parts. It is at the receiving end. It receives the sensations from the various body parts, and they pass via the ventral, posterolateral, and posteromedial nuclei of the thalamus to this. Then comes your secondary sensory cortex. The secondary sensory cortex is present just beneath the primary sensory cortex. I will show in the next pic. This is the secondary sensory cortex. This is the secondary sensory cortex.